Hey everybody, it is late at night and I am Norman. The best military watches are from Canada. That's right, I said it. Tonight we're going to be exploring Marathon's watches. So let us begin. Marathon is a company based out of Montreal, Quebec, and it was founded in 1939. It is a successor of the Weinstrom Watch Company, which was founded in 1904 and was later rebranded as Wine Brothers. Beginning in 1941, the company became a supplier of watches to the Allied forces, and it continued to do so from then on. Today it is the sole supplier of watches to the US military, at least according to their website. Marathon is a family-run company and it has been so since its beginning. It was founded by Morris Wine. Today the company is headed by Leon Wine and Mitchell Wine. Their watches are manufactured in Le Chaux-de-Fonds in Switzerland. Their manufacturing head is a man named Jean-Maurice Huguenot. Their vintage pieces are a brilliant blend of thin, classically sized watches and military utilitarianism. They were shipped on various metal bracelets as well as dressy leather straps. Today their watches are amazingly tough and reliable. These are fully military pieces. I personally used to own a G-SAR, and that was one of the toughest watches I have ever owned, followed very closely by the CWC G10 Sapphire. But yeah, let's explore some of the amazing offerings that this brand is selling today. The Navigator. Marathon's Navigator watches are asymmetrical, composite-cased watches with sapphire crystals and steel case backs. The right side of the case is wider than the left and serves as crown guards. It features Arabic numerals for the hours, and inside of these are smaller 13 to 24-hour Arabic numerals. It has tritium tubes for the hours outside of the numeric indices, as well as tritium tubes on the hours and minutes hands. It also has a composite bidirectional rotating bezel, which is an interesting feature given its meager water resistance. Strange. The specifications on these watches are: its colloquial name is the Navigator. Its qualifications are MIL-PRF-46374G, Type 3, Class 1. The movement inside these watches is an ETA F06. The loom is tritium tubes. The case material is composite. Its water resistance is 60 meters. The crystal is sapphire. The case size is 41 millimeters. The case height is 13 millimeters. The lug width is 20 millimeters. The price is $450. The MSAR. The MSAR is a military spec watch. These are manufactured to US government specification and have seen action in Afghanistan and Iraq. These are stainless steel cased watches with a unidirectional bezel. Their dial is very similar to the Navigator's dial, with large Arabic numerals for the hours and a smaller set of Arabics calling out the 24 hours. There's a date window between the 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock positions. This date window is black on white. They feature tritium tubes for the hour markers and on all three hands. The G-SAR that I owned was very similar to these. As for the MSAR's specifications, its colloquial name is Medium Search and Rescue Automatic, or MSAR Auto. The movement inside these watches is a Marathon M2 movement. The loom is tritium tubes. The case material is 316L stainless steel. The water resistance is 300 meters, the crystal is sapphire, the crown is screw down, the case size is 36 millimeters, the case height is 14 millimeters, the lug width is 18 millimeters. The price for these watches is $1,100. The GPQ. The GPQ, or General Purpose Quartz, is a symmetrical composite cased watch. It is available in a number of case colors. The one we're looking at has a black case and a gray bezel around the crystal, along with the matching gray crown. The dial is like the Navigator and the MSAR. You'll find that the dials that Marathon uses are pretty much nearly all identical, and when you see one, it's instantly recognizable as a Marathon dial. These feature tritium tubes for the hours indices and on the minutes and hours hands. These are such great looking watches. I nearly went for one recently and will likely have one in my collection at some point this year. They can be ordered with US markings or sterile. They are field watch sized, much like an old A11 spec watch, and they have 16mm lugs like those pieces were fitted with. As for the specifications on these watches, their colloquial name is General Purpose Quartz, or GPQ. Their qualifications are MIL-PRF-46374G, Type 2, Class 1. The movement inside these watches is an ETA F06. The loom is tritium tubes. The case material is composite. The water resistance is 30 meters. The crystal is sapphire. The case size is 34 millimeters. The case height is 12 millimeters. The lug width is 16 millimeters. And these sell for $300. Marathon has put together collections for the various branches of the US military. These are generally just their existing military watches with the branding of that particular branch on them. Let's look at these collections. The US Air Force collection. The USAF collection consists of 2 watches and a no-date option as a third piece. Both watches were originally designed in the 1980s. With these watches, they cannot be purchased without the US Air Force branding. The watches in this collection is the Officer's Watch GPQ. The Officer's Watch has a G10 style case, but in a contemporary size of 39 millimeters. The US Air Force logo is prominent below the 12 o'clock position. They have a black seconds hand with a pop of red at its tip. There's a black on white date window between the 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock positions. And they have the trademark marathon style dial with both 12 and 24-hour markers. There are tritium tubes for the hours markers as well as on the hours and minutes hands. The second watch is a Pilot's Navigator. The Pilot's Navigator is a Navigator style asymmetrical watch. It has the US Air Force logo below the 12 o'clock position and features a seconds hand with a red pop at its tip. It has the usual marathon dial and features tritium tubes for the hours and on the hours and minutes hands. The one we're looking at has a black case with a gray colored crown. There's also a touch of gray around the edge of the crystal. The US Army collection. The US Army collection features 2 different field watches, each with a date and a no-date option. The first watch is a GPM/GPQ, and the second is a G10 style field watch. Each of them features the US Army logo below the 12 o'clock position. The 24-hour indices are done in yellow, as is the seconds hand. The GPM/GPQ pieces are done in a dark green case color with gray for the bezel and crown. The G10 style pieces are all gray in color. I really like this collection because the Army logo looks so great on these watches, and that pop of yellow just looks brilliant. The US Marine Corps collection. The US Marine Corps collection also consists of 2 different watches, a Navigator and a G-SAR. There are 2 variants of each. The Navigator comes in a black case and a desert brown one. The G-SAR is available with a rubber strap or a steel bracelet. All 4 pieces have black on white date windows between the 4 and 5 o'clock positions, and the Marine's logo is featured prominently below the 12 o'clock position. The 2 Navigators have a pop of red on the tip of their seconds hands, and the G-SARs have a tritium tube on the tip of their seconds hands. All 4 have tritium on their hours and minutes hands. And there's also a Maple collection. Being a Canadian company, perfect. Marathon also offers a Maple collection. These watches feature the Canadian maple leaf below the 12 o'clock position. This collection is comprised of 2 different watches, the G-SAR and the oversized J-SAR. The G-SARs have a 41mm case size, and the J-SARs have a 46mm case. All 4 feature a black on white date window between the 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock positions. The jumbo watches have red maple leaves, and the G-SARs have gray maple leaves. The J-SARs feature standard loom, while the G-SARs have tritium tubes. The knurling on the crowns of the SAR watches is so great. That is one of the things that really stuck out when I owned the G-SAR. It's just amazing. As for the G-SAR's specifications, Their colloquial name is Red Maple Jumbo Search and Rescue, or JSAR. The movement inside these watches is an ETA F07. The lume is Mariglow. The case material is 316L stainless steel. The water resistance is 300 meters. The crystal type is sapphire. The crown is screw down. The case size is 46 millimeters. The case height is 17 millimeters. The lug width is 22 millimeters. And these sell for between $1,300 and $1,700. So there you have it, the absolute military brilliance of Marathon watches. Most of these watches are around $1,000, so they are kind of spendy, but you can get those little composite guys for about $300. Thanks for watching. Their dial is very similar to the Navigator's dial, with large Arabic numerals